YouTuber formerly known as Master Boris 866, the Omega the Simple the Performer. Welcome to the channel. So we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this Nintendo Switch 2. You know, Nintendo doing their thing right now. As of today, you know what I'm saying? Nintendo Switch 2 is the fastest selling console and the most sold console of all time. As of today, it surpassed the PlayStation 2 since March 4th of 2000. The PlayStation 2 launch sales was over almost 700,000. Nintendo Switch 2 launch sales was almost 1 million. You know what I'm saying? Going at 947,931 units sold for the Nintendo Switch 2. What you gonna do? So, with that being said, because you know, there's a lot of talks about the Nintendo Switch 2 before the console even came out. A lot of people were doom and gloom posting about the Nintendo Switch 2 sucks and don't get Mario Kart World because it sucks. You know, it's not good of a system. And then, you know, they say Nintendo is anti-consumer and all that. And seeing what I just saw and looking at the results and going by what I just said, somebody is lying. And they're talking about not getting the Nintendo Switch 2. That was telling the audience, their followers, not to get a Nintendo Switch 2. But they did anyway. And there was midnight releases because I went to one and got my own. Which I told y'all I was going to get a Nintendo Switch 2 regardless of what people had an opinion about the console. I didn't care. If I want a freaking console, I'm gonna get it with my own accord, my own volition. I don't listen to nobody to get something that I want or I don't want. I go by what I think. You need to stop being like a follower, a freaking, you know, a herd, or having a hive mindset. Because you know there'll be times where people can lead you astray and not in the right direction. Sometimes you have to go for your gut. Sometimes you have to go for what you believe in. That's in everything. Everything you love. But anyway, we're talking about Nintendo Switch 2. And yeah, a lot of people that were dooming and glooming and posting negative things about the console lied because they got the console themselves. They got the console themselves. And they hate themselves for getting the console for themselves. After they made, you know, rage betting, you know, misleading titles of not getting the Switch 2 and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that just garner for views that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it works. You know, I did it before just to prove a point, you know, to freaking bait and give out a misleading title to get views. But I'm not going to do it to an extent every single time to get views, because that's most of the gaming YouTube channels be doing. And it's a lot of things that I've seen, like, because you know there was a lot of complaints about a certain community in the gaming space that people are, you know, bitching. This certain community bitching about Nintendo and how they are, but when it came down to any other time with the Switch 1 or any console before that, they wasn't saying nothing because due to, yes, I can pirate Nintendo stuff. But since Nintendo got that on lock and don't want nobody to pirate their games, especially with the Switch 2, which explains the game key stuff and the virtual, you know, software thing that they got going on with the system, and also brought it to the Switch 1 as well. Now they want to complain about it. Now they want to call them anti-consumer. But y'all was so quiet because y'all was hacking and modding, you know, the Switch 1 and all that. But they are aware of it. Okay. Let me tell you something, you guys, because I've said this on social media before. There's two groups you don't fuck with. Excuse my language. Wu-Tang and Nintendo. Okay? I hope you got the memo. Alright? You don't mess with Nintendo, man. They're going to make sure that. And if you try to do something that they're planning on doing for their own console or for their own brand, cease and desist. And it's been done so many times by people that's trying to like find a way around stuff. You know, when it comes down to the modding community and modding Nintendo games, you know, and doing emulations. But you know, Sony and you know, Microsoft, they don't really care about emulation. I think Sony have emulation on the PS3 games on PS5, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, yeah, all you freaking busters was lying. You know, y'all was really about that Nintendo Switch 2 life. Y'all got it on your own after y'all made countless videos, maybe 20, 30 videos saying don't get Mario Kart World, it's $80 and all this and that. But seems like to me people got the dough to get the hoe. Nintendo Switch 2 and Mario Kart World bundle. I got the Mario Kart World bundle. I'm enjoying it. I'm just now getting my carry-on case because I was not going to take my Switch 2 without it, you know, because right now it's sold out. It's sold out, you know, man. I tried to look for another one because I was planning on selling a Nintendo Switch 2 or give it to it for free because I'm planning on doing a contest for my UVGM members, but yeah, man, it's sold out right now, you know, and people are going crazy for this console, man. Now I'm hearing that, you know, there was a freaking theft that went on in Colorado. People stole some Nintendo Switch 2s that was in a semi-truck. Like over maybe 2,000-3,000 of the Nintendo Switch 2s in Colorado. What's going on in Colorado, yo? So it's crazy in the hood, and a lot of these guys out here are capping, man. I just need to know how y'all feel about this whole Nintendo 2, you know, situation. I mean, I like it. I like the console. You know what I'm saying? No, you know, Nintendo ain't paying me to say none of this. No, it is my own volition. I really like the console. Like the console better than the Switch 1. And I hope it gets better over time because I did hear some problems. I do hear some problems of drifting with the Joy-Cons and whatnot. I don't have that problem yet, but you know, they need to like get it addressed and get things fixed for the newer versions of the Switch 2 out there. They're probably gonna make an OLED version just like they did with the Switch 1. It'll be a better product as they get their revenue stream for the Switch 2 because they're gonna do that in no time because it is selling like hotcakes, man. It's sold out in some of my stores here because I was planning on getting another one, you know. But yeah, all y'all gotta do, man, instead of just adding more to what it is when it comes down to this gaming stuff, like political stuff, the bastardized term of woke stuff in regards to this video game space. I'm just here to tell y'all to shut up. Just shut up and play the game and have fun. If you don't like the game, play something else. Just make it all just about games. Nothing really personal. Nothing like your ideologies. I don't want to hear that. I want to escape from all of that because a lot of people is under stress, and gaming is really a great stress reliever. You know what I'm saying? A great hobby to do to escape, you know, reality, you know, at times because, you know, people's worlds are in turmoil right now. And, you know, sometimes, you know, gaming or any other hobby that you might like to do is the outlet of, you know, having fun, escaping reality, you know. Until, you know, you have to face reality. Because there's a lot of people that's, you know, are, you know, in unfortunate events right now. So you have to take that into consideration. I take that into consideration a lot, that, you know, there's some people that have it worse than you. You know, that probably can't even game. You know what I'm saying? So you have to appreciate what we have and what we can enjoy and endure. So just shut up and play the game. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, folks, man. Let's have a discussion about this. Leave a comment, like, subscribe if you're new. I do a variety of videos here, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.